the Prince of Darkness, the godfather of heavy metal, the man who supposedly bit the head off a bat. For over 50 years, the name Ozzy Osbourne has been synonymous with rebellion, chaos, and the bone-rattling sound of heavy metal. The headlines have written a caricature, a wild, mumbling madman fueled by mayhem. But the caricature is just a shadow. The real story? The story of his survival, his evolution, and his incredible, enduring legacy is far more fascinating. This is the story of the man behind the myth. To understand Ozzy, you have to understand where he came from. Aston, Birmingham, a bleak, industrial landscape in post-war England. It was here, amidst the noise and the grit, that four young men, Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward, would create a sound that changed music forever. They were Black Sabbath, and their sound was a seismic shift. In a world of peace and love, they channeled something darker, heavier. Tony Iommi, after an industrial accident cost him the tips of two fingers, tuned his guitar down to make it easier to play. The result was a sludgy, menacing tone the world had never heard. They leaned into the so-called devil's interval, the tritone, creating a sense of dread and doom. And at the center of this storm was Ozzy's voice. It wasn't technically perfect, but it was something far more powerful. It was haunting. His desperate, eerie wail perfectly captured the paranoia, fear, and social commentary of their lyrics in songs like War Pigs, Iron Man. He wasn't just a singer, he was the human siren of a new, dark age in music. Black Sabbath didn't just play heavy metal, they invented the blueprint. But by the end of the decade, the party had spiraled out of control. In 1979, Ozzy was fired from the band he helped create, lost in a haze of addiction. For many, this would have been the end. But for Ozzy, it was a chaotic rebirth, orchestrated by a new force in his life, Sharon Arden. Sharon, his manager and future wife, saw the star that was buried beneath the wreckage. She pushed him to create a solo band. And with the recruitment of a virtuosic young guitarist named Randy Rhoads, rock history was about to be written again. Rhoads was Ozzy's perfect foil. He fused the brute force of metal with the elegance of classical music. Together, they crafted masterpieces like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley. Ozzy's solo career exploded, making him an even bigger star than he was in Sabbath. This was also the era where the myth of the madman was born, the infamous Dove incident, the bat on stage. The headlines were sensational, creating a persona that was part rock god, part circus sideshow. But tragedy struck. In 1982, Randy Rhoads was killed in a plane crash at just 25 years old. Ozzy's journey through the 80s and 90s is a testament to one word: resilience. His battle with addiction was a lifelong public war. There were low points, moments that threatened his life, his health, and his family, and yet he always came back. He released hit albums like No More Tears. He created Ozzfest, a festival that became a launchpad for a new generation of metal bands like Slipknot and System of a Down, cementing his role as a genre elder. The Prince of Darkness refused to fade away. Then, in 2002, Ozzy staged his most unexpected comeback. Not with an album, but with a TV show.
Rock and roll!
The Osbournes was a cultural phenomenon. It did something nobody thought possible. It demystified the Prince of Darkness. The world saw that behind the leather and eyeliner was a loving, if eccentric, father and husband. He was vulnerable, funny, and surprisingly relatable. The Osbournes introduced him to a massive new audience who fell in love not with the myth, but with the man. It cemented his place not just as a rock star, but as a beloved cultural icon. So why has Ozzy Osbourne endured for over half a century? It's not just the music he created with Black Sabbath, which laid the foundation for countless genres. It's not just his triumphant solo career, filled with anthems that defined an era. It's his incredible resilience. He is living proof that you can be dragged to the lowest depths and still find your way back to the stage, into the light. He's the madman on stage and the doting grandfather off it. He is both the Prince of Darkness and the lovable patriarch. Perhaps Ozzy's greatest trick wasn't biting the head off a bat, but pulling back the curtain to show us the vulnerable, funny, and surprisingly ordinary man behind the extraordinary legend. And that is why, decades later, we still can't get enough. What's your favorite Ozzy song or moment? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into music history.